Hello all, welcome back. In this session, we'll see how to load JSON file into Snowflake. First, let's start understanding what is a JSON file. JSON stands JavaScript Object Notation. JSON is a text-based data format that is used to store and transfer data, one of the most popular data formats for huge data transfers between the systems. It is lightweight and easy to read and write, and it is easily integrates with most languages. JSON file supports the data types like strings, number, boolean, arrays, and objects, and it also holds null values. The syntax of the JSON file as shown here. It is the combination of the key and value. Both key and value will surrounded with the double quotes on majority of the data types. But if it is a number or boolean, for the value the double quotes is might not required. And as shown here, JSON file will consist um, arrays and objects. You can see in the syntax where we'll have the objects here within the array. That's how the JSON file will be created. You can see here the simple JSON format where you will have the uh, key values and key and value combinations. Okay, fruit, apple, size, large, color, red. So this is a simple example for the JSON file, and let's see other examples as well. Let's prepare the data for our demo purpose. For this, what I'll do is we'll take a CSV file which we have used in earlier exercises, and then we'll convert that into JSON file, and we'll use that as a raw data file for us to move the data from on-prem to Snowflake. Here I have a CSV file with a proper header, and I have 50 employees information. So we need to convert the CSV file into JSON for our demo purpose. This can be done by using any available online tools. So I'm going to use one of the tool that I saw in online to convert the CSV into the JSON. So here is the CSV json.com, which will convert CSV file into JSON. So I'm uploading the file here. So this is a CSV file. I'm converting it into the JSON. So this is a file that I'm going to use for our demo purpose. Below are the steps that we are going to follow to load the JSON file from on-prem to Snowflake. First step is to creation of internal stage, and second is creation of the format object. Here in this case, JSON format object, and then loading the data from on-prem to the internal stage that we created by using the put command. So here we'll try the different ways of doing it based on the way how we created the stage object, whether it is when we are creating the stage object, whether we integrated the format object also or not. Based on that, we will try the different ways of doing it, and then we'll create a table and load the data from internal stage to the table by using the transformation logic. uh, that is the one way that we are going to try. In another way is we will create a stage table with only one column with a data type as variant, and dump the data from stage to that table, temporary table, and from there we will try to use the transformation logic and then load into the main table as well. So both the ways we'll try here. And as you know, when we are copying the data from stage to the table, we'll use the copy into command, and if required we'll use the ladder and flatten options also if we have the um, object within the object. Since we have the basic understanding of the JSON file, and we also jot down the steps uh, to load the file, JSON file from on-prem to Snowflake, let's start executing the steps. So first step is going to be creation of the stage file. So here is the syntax for it. Create a replace stage and the stage name. So I have given the name of the stage as stage my files. And also if you observe here, I am not attaching the file format to the definition of a stage creation. So I'm going to deal with it later. So let's execute this step. Now, since the stage is available, let's execute a put command to upload the file employee info.json into the stage my files. Okay, so for that we'll use the put command. The put command cannot be executed from the GUI. So for that we need to connect to the SnowSQL. Let's connect to the SnowSQL and execute the put command. To put command has been executed successfully, and then you can see that source of the file and how it is compressed and loaded into the stage. Okay, after uploading the file, let's do the list of files and then see the file is available or not. You can see that the file is available, and then it loaded on this time and date. Okay, so now the file is available in the stage. Let's try to run a select statement directly on the stage and see what happens. Okay, now you can see the data, whatever the data, the 50 employee records has been available in the stage, and the when you query directly like this, you will see the data scattered like this. Okay, so now I'm going to create the file format. Okay, so it's a JSON format. This is the syntax for the creation of the file format. Create a replace file format and the name of the file format and the type JSON. And I'm giving the two additional properties as well. Strip outer array is true, and if any null values, then we are stripping those also. So for that I'm giving this property as well. So let's execute this. So once we create the file format, then describe and see how the properties has been set for it. So you can see that these are the default and these are the properties set for the JSON file format that we have created. Now let's execute the stage data by using the format that we have created. So when you execute, you can see that the data is displaying in multiple rows now. Now create a table to load the data with the proper data types and everything as shown here. Execute it. Table has been created, and then do the description and see. Everything looks good. Let's copy the data from the stage to the table. So here is the uh, copy into statement for it. Copy into table from stage. For that from the stage I have created a select statement for it. So $1 is nothing but the column in the stage. All the data that is there in the stage referred with the one column, that's the $1, and then giving the key associated to the value there, and doing the conversion, case conversion according to the table definition that we have created according to the data that is available in the JSON file as well. And wherever it is required, we are converting it. And also in additional for email, I am adding the domain as a concatenation value and doing the date as a proper format as well here. And let's see execute it and see how it works. Okay, first self statement I'm executing. If you see the data, everything looks good to me. Oh, okay, here. So commission underscore PCT is not converted properly, looks like. So it has a double quotes. Maybe I missed that part. Let's do that. So since it is a varchar data type, let me change that to varchar. I can use either string or varchar. Either one would work. So I'm going with varchar. Now execute the select statement and go to the commission. You can see that now it is proper without double quotes, right? So now it is available. Let's execute and load the data to the table. We're using the copy into command. Okay, so now it is saying that the numeric value is not recognized. Okay, so that's the error. That so this error is not giving the proper information. Maybe we need to see what exactly the issue is. So I'm not sure. In the history it will give something. Let's do in the history, go to the history and see if anything that we can get for this. Okay, so it's saying numeric value is not recognized. The same thing it is giving. I'm not getting much info here. So what I'm going to do to solve this one, let me upset the data and see uh, what might be the reason. Okay, so write the code, execute the select statement again, and let's see. So everything looks good to me here, and okay, I see the problem here, right? So here there is the hyphen on manager ID. I don't think manager ID is a string data type in the table. Let's see that part. Manager ID is a number, and then we are trying to put, okay, let's see, one of the record is having hyphen for it, but it's a number data type. So what to do now? So let's do some changes to our select statement. So we are converting, first of all, manager ID into varchar. So it's supposed to be number. So we cannot do that directly because we have this one. So let's first convert to the string, and then now uh, do the try to number for this. Okay, so let's see now, execute this. Okay, now let's try to execute the copy into command. Okay, now it loaded. All right, so when what will happen is for that particular one, let's execute the table and see what happened. Okay, so before that, let me execute the select statement, see what is the employee ID for that particular record. Sorry. You can see that instead of hyphen we are passing null now. So by converting that proper way, what I'm doing is first converting into the string, and then I'm trying to do the try to number. If hyphen cannot be converted to the number, then it will pass null. So you can explore the try to number how it works. Okay, so now the data has been loaded properly into this table. I'll query the table and check as well one more time. Okay, we have 50 records has been inserted into the table. You can see here the data properly. Okay, you can see this is the record that had an issue that we corrected. Earlier we have seen creation of the stage without associating the file format, but now I'm creating a stage with mentioning the file format also part of the definition. Let's execute the new stage that we are creating now with the JSON format, stage my JSON files. And now stage is available. Let's see if any files are there or not. So obviously won't be there because we just created. And now let's execute the put command to move the data from on-prem to this stage that we just created. So old one is stage my files was the stage, and the new stage we create a stage my JSON files. And let's execute this. Okay, so now the file has been uploaded into the stage. Okay, so now let's truncate the table and then load the data from the newly created stage. So only the difference here is that you need not to mention the um, file format object here in the select statement. Like earlier we mentioned uh, the file format object here, since it is already part of the definition, you need not to do that. So let's query this first, and then now I'm executing it. Data has been loaded into the table, and you can query and check that. Now let us load another file, which is emp sample.json. So this file, what I did, I took a couple of records from the existing file and I added additional information like skill set, and also I added the phone numbers, so multiple phone numbers. So let's create the table with the only one column with the variant, and then I will copy the data to here. So before that, what I will do is I will put the new file into the JSON stage, right? Okay, so file has been uploaded into the stage, and then let's list down it. Okay, here, let me do this. Okay, emp sample file is there, and let's query. Now you can see only we have two records, but however you will have, you see the phone number, and also you can see the skill set. Okay, so Now I'm copying that data into this table. Okay, so the data has been loaded. So now we have the data into this one. So let's query that and see. Okay, you can see that two records are there into validate whether our JSON file that has been uploaded into this is a proper JSON format or not. You can check that using the check JSON as well. So if it is string null, that means the one that we uploaded into stage is in a proper JSON format. If not, then it will give an error. What error? Where in which line the format is not or corrupted or it is not as expected. So that information it will give. Okay. So now when you query the data from the table, you will have the two records as I mentioned. So all the normal data and the phone numbers, we have multiple phone numbers, and then the skill sets, we have multiple objects within the skill set array, right? So to access this data, so let's prepare the select statement. So here is the select statement that I have prepared by using the lateral and lateral flatten functions. Actually, lateral is a keyword and flatten is a function. So what I'm doing is here everything is same only. Instead of earlier we are referring $1, we are referring actual column name because this is the column in the table that we have created, and the rest things will be remain same only except the phone number. Here, since we have multiple phone numbers and those are in the array, you can refer from the 0 as a first value and 1 as a second value. I'm giving the aliasing names as a home and work for that. And whereas it comes to the skill set, right? So skill set is something is object within the object, nested objects. For that, what I'm doing is it's a main table, and then we are separating the skill set part and passing that to the flatten function. So what it will do is it will make a join with the main data and display the data. So, and you can refer that as t dot value dot. This is the key within the skill set that you have, the language, and this is also another key, and converting into the varchar data type. Let me execute it and show you. It might give the better better you know uh, understanding of how the data will be displayed. So the Donald is having so this data is repeating. This master data that is repeating. Here you can see the phone numbers are separated. One is home and work from the array. And when it comes to the skill set part, you can see here this guy is having two skills, C and C sharp, and active this information within the skill set mm, uh, subcategory, right? So similar like that, this guy is having again two skill sets. That's the reason this data is repeating. This is the way we can use the flatten function to flatten the data and display accordingly. Okay, so lateral is the same like table or to join. It's like the join, and flatten is a function. Okay, and without lateral you can go with the table as well, something like this. This is the cross join is happening right here, the table of lateral like this. Also you can do both, are both will work actually.